Hey, greetings everyone. I'm coming to you from right outside of Payson, Arizona in Mogollon Rim Country, about to explore the Shoofly Village ruins, some old Native American Indian ruins that I believe are hundreds of years old. It's beautiful country up here, really curious to see what this is all about, and I'd love to have you come join me. So let's get to it. I don't know much about this area, so this is an adventure in discovery. I've heard that it's pretty cool. Probably see a bunch of pile of rocks, but we might get some really good views of rim country from up here, and I'm already really digging the terrain. It's very beautiful. Here's a little map and some signage that kind of tells you what we're about to undertake. Looks like it's just a quick quarter-of-a-mile trail through an old village. It's almost about 800 years old, it looks like. Not really sure what it's gonna look like, but I think there's lots of signage along the way, and I can't wait to check it out. So I don't know if there's a preferred route to do this trail. It looks like it's a loop, a really short loop, so I'm just kind of walking right past the sign there. I see some other signs kind of facing me, so I want to say this is probably the preferred way to go. And this trail is paved. It's very gravelly, like really cracked. So I don't know, I'm not gonna really make a judgment about accessibility. It could work maybe, but it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Here's some signage telling you about the ruin. Looks like it was a community maybe of about 250 people. This was occupied between 1000 and 1250 AD, had more than 80 rooms with many courtyards and plazas. It looks like these people had cultural ties to the Hohokam and Salado people. We've actually visited Hohokam ruins at Sears Cay, and we've got a video about that I'll link to down in the description below. So it's interesting to always compare and contrast these sites to see similarities. So far I'm just enjoying the peace and quiet. That's all that matters to me. So I'm gonna stay on the trail, but I'm gonna guess these rocks are the remnants of old structures that were once here. And there's some more on this side, so I guess to the untrained eye, if I didn't know, you know, I'd probably just walk by and not think much of it, to be honest. The thing though that makes these places fascinating to me are that people, just like you and me, used to call this their home. If you could rewind the clock a few hundred years ago, I would just be amazed at what you might see here. So there's great signage here that tells you a lot of interesting information about the area. What this is really talking about, I think, are different periods or time periods and the different sections, I guess, village areas. There's 3 major ones that make up this area. And some of them have like oval shaped structures, some are square structures. So a weird variety of different types of structures. So the architects may have changed their building styles to deal with changing social needs and conditions. And here are some more stones. Now this looks more interesting. I'm gonna guess all of this rubble are the remnants of one of the areas here, and this here looks like something pretty cool. So the sign says that this little area here has been reconstructed, but this is just an example of their building style. They use a lot of red sandstone, as you can see here, for building. Now I'm enjoying this so far, but I can tell you right off the bat, I don't know if for everyone this would be the most interesting place to come visit. If you're into Native American history and the people that were indigenous to this area, I think you'd like it, and the views are fantastic. But compared to something like Sears Cay in North Phoenix, so far I'd give my vote to Sears Cay if you want to see more defined structures, although I believe they did a lot of reconstruction at Sears Cay also. So I'm not sure if Sears Cay would have looked more like this had more modern men not intervened and cleaned up some of the stuff there. But anyway, this is still really cool to me though. I really dig seeing this kind of stuff. And it's always just the thought at the back of my mind that this was somebody's home, a group of people's home, hundreds of years ago. This talks about some of the archaeology work that occurred here in the 1980s by Arizona State University. You know, they were digging around here and they found a lot of really neat artifacts suggesting that some of these were living spaces as well as storage spaces. So here's kind of a view of one of those square rooms. said this area that we're standing in contained 27 square and rectangular shaped rooms. I'm going to assume like this, like the one I'm looking at right here. So I'm very likely standing in someone's room. Someone probably slept here. That's so cool. And one thing that's really cool though is seeing all this rubble, you know, really gives you a sense of the size, I think, of this village. And now I'm really starting to get it. So I would say compared to Sears Cay, this area seems to cover a much larger area. I'm guessing it was a much larger group of people that lived here. Really neat. And here's another nicely defined room, it looks like, pretty square, right in front of me here. Once again, this talks about how many of the rooms bordered each other and had large courtyards and were used for both living purposes and storage. So off in the distance there, those cliffs, I believe, are in fact the Mogollon Rim. And for those of you that don't know, that is the end of the Colorado Plateau. It is absolutely gorgeous out here. Well worth a trip just for the beauty. But the ruins make it over the top cool. Kind of winding back now, I think. The loop is heading back, so I'm gonna guess I'm more than halfway done already. I've probably been here about 10 or 15 minutes so far. Very pleased with what I'm seeing. It's always really cool, so far so good. And from over here you kind of get a nice little view too of these adjacent structures. This is another pretty squared off area. I'm assuming another room or storage room here. And winding around this way, many more stones. So this must be one of the older areas. It looks like these are the oval rooms that I mentioned earlier. And it says the square rooms were from a slightly later time period, so this must be the older section. I'm really struggling to see oval structures here though. This here, I guess, is the main one. It is, I guess it does have rounded corners, so I'm guessing this is what they're talking about, if you can see that. Gonna just take a quick peek down here. I'm not sure if there's much to see. See some more rubble, like over here. And right here in front of me, beautiful view of the rim though. And they're kind of dubbing this area in front of us Ancient Apartments. Looks like there may have been multiple levels maybe. And you can see right beyond all that rubble, that must have been the apartment complex. So I kind of did some very quick research of this area. I was curious, I didn't really know much about it. Just read a few people's thoughts online. Most of what I was reading are people saying that, you know, you could probably pass on this location unless you're really into Native American ruins. Many think that it's not worth stopping here, and I would totally disagree with that. If you're driving through Payson, Arizona, maybe you're going to Tonto Natural Bridge, maybe you're going from Phoenix to Winslow, or back the other way, you're really gonna pass right by this. This is not that far off the beaten path. So I think it's worth it. I've been here maybe about 20 minutes to a half an hour. If I wasn't filming, you could spend about 15 minutes here, maybe 20, and see it all. But it's absolutely worth it. It's fantastic. It's history, and the surrounding country is absolutely beautiful. So there's multiple incentives for visiting up here, I would say. Well, I hope you enjoyed this adventure here up near the Mogollon Rim. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and check us out on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Till next time.